again, Jennifer Thompson. How are
Hi,
you?
Lindsay.
All right. So this time I want to talk to you about your virtual front desk solution. I
Yeah.
know that with a lot of companies, it can be kind of scary going from having someone in-house at your front desk who you see every day, who you can kind of manage and you know exactly what they're doing. You hear them answering the phones, et cetera, et cetera. But you have a new solution, a virtual front desk solution. I already know that it saves people money, but can you kind of talk about what else it can do? Like, what are the benefits and how do you overcome that challenge in your head with, I don't have someone here that I can see every day and I can't see everything they're doing. How do you overcome that?
Okay, so first of all, tracking has come a long way, right? So just because you can't physically put eyes on somebody doesn't mean that there's not accountability. So we use a software called Time Doctor to monitor our agents. And granted, we're not sitting here micromanaging them. That's silly business. We don't do that. But what it does do is it captures screenshots of them working on a regular interval. I think it's every 6 minutes roughly. It's not 6 minutes on the nose, but it varies a bit. So that if there is an issue, we can go back and check and see what's going on. Also, we pull a lot of data so we understand their output. Like we understand their call time, we understand their hold time, we understand how long their wrap up is. And we have a team of team leaders that's their entire job is to be monitoring the agents, right? So part of it is mindset as well. You know, if you're not used to not seeing people and seeing their output, it can be a bit of a jump to get there. But once you see all the technology we use on the back end to track and monitor to make sure that everything is being delivered as promised, but also quality control, also reporting that is sent to you, and also you can consistently get good feedback from your clients and your patients, that will show that it is a good solution.
Okay. I can see the benefit of utilizing a global pool of people, but how do you find the right people?
So when we hire these people, there's a pretty extensive and arduous process in order for them to get to an interview. So it starts with a job description, which includes 3 or 4 things that they have to do. And if they don't follow those directions, they don't make it to the next step. Because we want to know people can actually follow directions, they have attention to detail. And so the first test is that. Secondarily, we give them a personality test, English reading, writing, and listening. Listening is important. If they can't hear it and comprehend it, then they aren't very good or adept at using, systems and stuff, right? They're answering the phone. And then on top of that, we do a personality profile. So we understand that they're the right person for the right seat. They have a certain time limit to turn that into us so that they can meet deadlines and also that they're the right fit. Finally, after all of that, they're allowed to interview with us, and it's a 2-step process. They do 2 interviews, and then with our clients, they're allowed to do a 3rd interview so our clients can give the final thumbs up after they review all the things we've collected. We all agree. In the event somebody doesn't work because no system is perfect, we replace them for free, and then we have team leaders who are trained extensively who can cover that seat until somebody is hired and trained again. So there is no lapse in service and there is no lapse in knowledge. We have thoroughly trained people who can cover for you. So if somebody's on vacation or they don't work out or any of those things happen, we have people that cover so you have no gaps.
Okay. So initially, when I would think of a virtual call center, I picture a bunch of people in a room. It's noisy. No one is speaking proper English. And it's frustrating when I call somewhere and that's the kind of person I get on the other end of the phone. How do you combat that?
So part of the screening process is listening to their accent. We put a lot of emphasis on how much of an accent they have. And most of the people that we hire are in South America, and they actually came to America to be educated and then went back to their country to help their families or whatever it is they're doing there. So when we're screening them, we look at that accent. Secondarily, they are signed on a one-to-one basis with your company, and they're working from home, and a requirement is a quiet background. So they're not in a big pool. There aren't roosters crowing in the background. I've heard that before. Other things like that. There's no distraction. And it's part of the requirement of them working here is that they have a noise-free environment and they are assigned one-to-one on you. So it's not just like multiple people answering your phone that don't know what's going on. They don't know your company. So they're just like an extension of your current employees. They only work for you.
Awesome. What about from a cost perspective? What can companies expect?
So as far as cost is concerned, it's about a 30% less cost and overhead than a traditional employee. You don't have to pay for space. You don't have to pay for any of their equipment. They have it all themselves. And you don't have to pay payroll taxes and health insurance and all that other stuff that you have to pay, unemployment, so on and so forth. It's one set hourly rate for you that you pay to us, and then you don't have to think about any of the rest of it. And usually it saves more than 30%, but it's roughly 30% savings.
Awesome. Anything else you'd like to add?
Absolutely. So not only do we have these pool of people to answer your phones as a virtual front desk, but we also can have people who are trained to help with administrative tasks. They can be helped to train with policy enforcement. They can be trained to do anything that you don't actually physically have to be in a seat to do. So you don't have to be in front of a person, right? And in doing this, what you allow is the people that actually work in your office to be present when they're dealing with the public that comes in, right? So when you're in front of somebody, how annoying is it when they're answering the phone, and they're just not paying attention to you and you're standing there waiting forever? So this also alleviates that and increases your customer service and your online reviews, because people feel like you can be present for them because somebody else is handling that busy work.
Perfect. I love it. Sounds like a great solution to me.